by many names.
Hi, I'm Ollie and you're watching The Fan Carpet, and tonight we are here in the festive wonderland that is Leicester Square for the premiere of Rise of the Guardians, starring the voices of Chris Pine and Isla Fisher. We'll be chatting to them as well as its director, Peter Ramsey. Let's take a look. Chris, what do you enjoy about the process of kind of voicing animation? I mean, and what are the challenges as well?
The challenge really is the fact that you kind of go into a booth and do it by yourself, which is also really liberating too, because you can experiment and try stuff, and the process of making a film is very long, so you can continually come back in if they're open to it and change and rework and change and rework and see what your voice sounds like paired with the other actors, because really at the end of the day a voice in an animated film is almost a part of the musical score, so you want to make sure that you're jiving with the other components. I've found it fascinating. I don't know if I'm any good yet, but it's certainly a muscle that I really want to work on. It's tremendously fun and gratifying.
Has to find his centre. It's really important for him to find that heart. What do you feel that your centre is in life?
Well, you know, my center, I'm an actor, and I love what I do. I think what Santa says in that moment when he asks Jack what his center is to find something that you're passionate and that you love. And I thankfully, really blessedly have found something where I get to live an extraordinary life and travel and meet really interesting people and be expressive, and I wouldn't change that for the world. So I'm content. I love London. London's a great city, and I remember it. The last time I was here, I guess, was for the Star Trek premiere now, whatever it was, 3 or 4 years ago, in Leicester Square. I think we were in, and it's a lovely town, and the weather's been fantastic. Actually, yesterday was beautiful, and I could live here. I could live here in a heartbeat.
It's about the heroes of childhood who come together to protect the children of the world.
There's a lot of familiar faces in the cast, but these are characters that we know, we love, but they're a little bit different. Santa Claus and the Easter Bunny and that. Can you tell us a little bit about the versions of the characters?
Well, this is the true story of the characters. Before, it's all just been what people have said. So this is who they really are. We did a lot of research. We met with them. This is actually who Santa Claus or North really is, and the Easter Bunny. He's an Australian warrior, and the Tooth Fairy is indeed a hummingbird.
You come from a background in kind of storyboarding and illustrating, and you're now at the helm of your first full-length feature. How did that sort of come together for you?
Over years and years, really. Storyboarding is you work closely with directors. You visualize everything that happens in a film. So it's, in a way, I think it's great training for filmmaking. And I came from live action to DreamWorks animation like 7-8 years ago, and really, learning the craft of animation, I was able to bring what I knew from live action into animation, and with the new, CG movies now, it's becoming a little bit of a hybrid. Animation and live action are moving closer and closer together. So I think the studio kind of, liked that idea. So when it came time to do Rise of the Guardians, they thought that I might be a good fit, and I agreed with them.
And how much did you kind of work from William Joyce's novel, and kind of in terms of the style of the film, and how much did you kind of have your own creative input?
Yeah, well, Bill's books were an inspiration to us. His books are actually about the characters years and years ago when they were first becoming Guardians. Our movie is set much later, when they all get together for the first time and meet Jack Frost. So they're two kind of distinctly different things, and Bill consulted quite a bit with us, and we drew the inspiration from his work. But we have a lot of artists and fantastic illustrators, painters, lighters, all sorts of people at DreamWorks who really, we created these new worlds together. And
you mentioned that these characters are a lot later in the story. So is that possible that we might see a sequel going back in time to there?
Well, let's hope so. It really all depends on the audience and how much they believe in our Guardians. So we will see. Hopefully, we'll be back.
Can you give us a little bit of information about your character? Because these characters, we're seeing some familiar names, but in a very different light in this movie.
Yes, I play the Tooth Fairy, and I'm part hummingbird, part fairy, and my job is to collect all the children's teeth which store their childhood memories and keep them safe from the evil pitch boogeyman played by Jude Law.
Okay. And lending your voice to an animation is kind of a big commitment. So what about the project drew you to it, and kind of what's the deal?
It's always a great gig for an actor. You get to come in your sweatpants, pull a bunch of ugly faces in a room alone, and and, you know, come to a night like this at the end and get surprised by some, you know, truly creative people who put it together, like the, you know, the people that do the CGI and the illustrations and the, you know, the story, the script was so delightful, and Guillermo del Toro is so talented, and he's made it so much darker and more interesting than it should have been. I mean, it's just all come together. I'm really proud of this one, and I always love to do animation.
Everyone loves this lake.
DreamWorks, Rise of the Guardians.